It stands tall, half-finished, eerily quiet. Shrouded in morning fog, the Horizon Westlink Bridge looms like a monument to ambition. But the silence that gathers around its untraveled lanes speaks a warning. Beneath the surface, beneath bolts and beams, something festers: corruption, negligence, and a paper trail soaked in red flags. This is the story of the bridge that should never have been built. In the beginning, there was promise. Renderings showed sleek lines soaring across the river, a ribbon of progress meant to stitch two regions closer together. Politicians cut ribbons and posed for cameras, touting the Horizon Westlink as an engineering marvel set to cut travel time by half. Millions in public funds were poured in, and the community dreamed of new opportunity. But dreams, like bridges, need sturdy foundations. And soon, the cracks began to show. Auditors arrived for a routine check and stumbled onto the first of many red flags. The concrete mix used for the bridge's piers was substandard, far from the resilient blend specified in the blueprints. Sections meant to last a century already showed signs of weathering. Inspectors noted piers misaligned with the approved design, some by inches, others by feet. Beneath the shining surface, rebar poked through hairline cracks in the concrete, exposed to the elements and rusting. Load tests meant to ensure the bridge could withstand the weight of traffic? Falsified. "This bridge is already failing," read one inspector's notes, "and it's not even open yet." Still, construction pressed on, as if the growing evidence of failure could be paved over. Behind closed doors, a darker truth was unfolding. Digging through invoices and approval forms, auditors found a minefield of deceit: fake invoices, inflated costs, and contractors who, on paper, barely existed. Some had no verifiable licenses, no track record, no business building the spine of a city. Yet their signatures were everywhere: on permits, on test results, on paychecks. Officials from multiple agencies had signed off on what one structural engineer privately called a death trap in waiting. When journalists began asking questions, records vanished, and so did a key whistleblower, gone without a trace, leaving only rumors and fear in their wake. But one voice refused to be buried. Clara, a junior site engineer, had joined the project, inspired by its promise. But what she found on site horrified her: columns with honeycombed concrete, beams sagging under their own weight, and load test data that didn't match what she'd personally witnessed. When she was asked to sign off on the final stability report, Clara refused. She couldn't ignore what she'd seen, and so she gathered her notes and took her findings to the local press. Her courage came at a price. Within days, Clara lost her job, blacklisted by the very agencies meant to protect public safety. But her evidence triggered a full-scale investigation, and the story broke open. The fallout was swift and brutal. Overnight, construction was halted. Lawsuits piled up as taxpayers demanded answers. News crews gathered at the bridge's sealed-off entrances, filming the structure as it loomed over the river, unfinished, decaying, and already costing millions more than budgeted. Warning signs ringed the approach roads. "Danger! Do not enter." The bridge had become a symbol of what happens when engineering bows to greed, when oversight is traded for envelopes stuffed with bribes, and when corners are cut in the dark. As months passed, the Horizon Westlink Bridge became a ghostly presence. A case study in everything that can go wrong when integrity is sacrificed. Concrete crumbled in slow motion, flakes falling to the water below. Rust spread like a bruise across exposed steel beams, sped by the breath of salt air. The bridge was never opened, never crossed by the commuters it was meant to serve. Instead, it stood as a warning, visible proof that in the world of infrastructure, failure doesn't always announce itself with a dramatic collapse. Sometimes it's silent, hidden in the shadows of paperwork, or in the minute vibrations that ripple through a structure built on lies. Bridges are meant to connect us, to span divides and carry us forward, but their strength depends on the integrity of those who design, build, and oversee them. When corners are cut and ethics are buried, structures fall, and so does public trust. This isn't just the story of one bridge. Around the world, similar failures echo. In Australia, the West Connex Toll Road project awarded contracts to companies tainted by global corruption scandals, despite public outcry. In Hong Kong, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge's safety was thrown into question when contractors were caught falsifying concrete test results, sparking fears about the unseen dangers lurking in its foundations. These are not isolated incidents, they're warnings. Every silent crack, every falsified report, every bribe exchanged in shadow is a risk paid for by all of us, in lives and in trust. The next time you cross a bridge, remember, its safety is not just a matter of steel and stone, but of conscience, of the invisible bonds of honesty and responsibility that hold our world together. Share this story. Speak out, because the next failure might be right beneath your feet. For more real engineering stories, stories that reveal the secret language of the world's structures, subscribe to Vital Axis. The truth is in the cracks, and sometimes listening can save lives.